This vid's going to show you solo Grandmaster Nightfall on Lake of Shadows with a overshield void volatile detonation barricade build. It's very effective. If you're interested, keep watching. The GM mods are Void Surge, Strand Surge, Arc Threat, Champions of Barrier Unstoppable, Scorched Earth is on. Right, before I talk about the build, let's talk about the weapon that it's centered around. If you're watching this video, you're somebody that should be going to focus this weapon at the gunsmith for a role. Ros Arago IV. It's a void auto. Now, it's a very good auto rifle in the game. In actual fact, it's as powerful as an exotic. This weapon is unbelievable. Now, Reckless Oracle users, before you get angry, yes, Reckless Oracle exists, but it's a raid weapon. Not everybody has access to this raid weapon. Ros Arago is a tower weapon. 99% of people have access to this weapon. Yeah? And not only that, Ros Arago has some roles that Reckless doesn't. However, go and focus it anyways. You're looking for roles such as Rewind Onslaught, Rewind Deconstruct, Rewind Attrition Orbs, stuff like that. But what I will tell you is if you have Onslaught on the gun, it turns into a machine gun. Yeah, go and grab this machine gun primary from the tower. It's fantastic. It feels like an exotic. That's how strong it feels. The reason being is because of the perk this season called Volatile Marksman. This is what makes void weapons better than Arc, Solar, Strand, Stasis, because you get barrier rounds for free, check, and you also get a lot of void volatile detonations with increased class ability regen. That is why void autos are better than Arc, they're better than Solar, they're better than any other auto rifle element. Because of that. I'm using the same setup as I did yesterday with Witherhoard and Doom Petitioner. Doom Petitioner for unstops. Witherhoard is king for the no cheese at the boss fight. So if you're not going to do the boss, if you're not going to cheese the boss, Witherhoard goes on for that. And Ros Arago's an exotic anyways. So it's almost like I've got two exotics on here. That's how it feels. But the overshield build is as follows. Hoyle, Void Titan. Hoyle needs to go on for Bastion spam. It needs to go on, even though you get increased class ability regen. I've tested it without Hoyle and with Hoyle. It's better with Hoyle. It just is better with Hoyle. But the plot thickens. So the build is Sentinel Shield, Roman Super goes on. No need for Bubble. No need for Twilight Arsenal. All you need is Sentinel Shield. Rally Barricade goes on. Shield Throw. Suppressor Grenade is fantastic in this. I didn't realise how good Suppressor Grenade is. It's actually rather good. I recommend that you put it on. Aspects, this is important to get right. Now, you're going to look at it and say, it's not quite right. No, it is. It's right. Listen, trust the science. Trust the process. Aspects are Bastion for the overshield build. So every time you pop down a barricade, you're going to get an overshield. Yeah, you also get one when you super, but forget about that. It's the overshield from the barricade that we're concerned with. And then Controlled Demolition. Controlled Demolition says, hit the target with avoidability, or, the key word is or, volatile explosions make them volatile. That will synergize with your void primaries with Volatile Marksman. So when you apply volatile, it's classed as an ability also. With Controlled Demolition. Do you see the synergy there with Controlled Demolition? What I would have preferred to run is Offensive Bulwark, but why I didn't run it is because Controlled Demolition has some unique synergy with the volatile detonations from your gun. Therefore, it's better. It's better. Offensive Bulwark is more ability regen, but Controlled Demolition is better for your gunplay. And we want better gunplay because this is a weapon build, really. Fragments, Echo of Starvation for Devour via Orbs and Breaches. This is a breach build as well. Echo of Persistence for increased overshield duration, which is very good for this, because it's an overshield build. Echo of Obscurity for invis on finisher kill, which is very good. And Echo of Cessation, it's not the finisher part I want you to read, it's the second portion. Defeating volatile targets creates a void breach. So you're going to be able to create unlimited amounts of void breaches with your void primary because you're making them volatile. You're making them volatile, you then get a void breach because of it, therefore you get Devour. Yeah, this is why it's so good. Okay, so the key points about the build is that it's a utility kickstart build with approximate procs ward for overshield on finisher, bomber, void resist, arc resist, concussive dampener, void scav, double void loader because I want it on, a void siphon, heavy ammo finder. That's the build in a nutshell. On with the run. Okay, so I recognise this is another Titan build and I've just done a Titan build. What's up with that? That's unfair on Hunter mains and Warlock mains, and I agree. We'll make sure that we cover a Hunter and Titan build this week. We already have for Lake of Shadows in the past, but everybody wants relevant stuff. So, you know, we'll make sure that we cover Hunter and Warlock with a build apiece for this GM. But I want you to pay attention to void volatile detonations in this run and how quickly this auto rifle is melting adds, especially when I've got Onslaught equipped, or proc, should I say. But yeah, we melt the initial adds just with our barricades and stuff. I'm going to fight from this alley, this little area here, whatever it's called. And we're just going to keep spamming our Bastion barricade. Now, because of the overshield buff that happened, I don't know when it happened, but when it did happen, overshields feel much more important now in GMs. They feel worth running or specking for, right? So we're just going to melt these initial adds. We've got Hoil on so that we can spam our suppressor grenade, melee, and class ability, of course. Cycle in your abilities. Hoil works best for this. I could have ran Symphoceps. I could have ran Precious Scars. I could have ran Mask of the Quiet One. There's all sorts of little things I could have used, but I tested a lot of things, and overall I went with this. Although Precious Scars, I didn't need to test that because I know how that will work with this build. It would work very good. However, what's most important about this build is overshield, and Hoil is the best for that. You're going to get your barricade much more with Hoil. So Hoil goes on for that reason. I hope you understand it. We've just melted that barrier down. Very easy. It's a strong build. In terms of locking down a zone, and you don't mind popping a barricade. If there's 10 adds in front of you, you feel very strong when you pop a barricade. I feel very strong. Look at Procs Ward there. Sometimes I'll be very casual with my finisher kills because I know that I won't die. Yeah, Procs Ward in combination with finisher kill on Void to go in Viz is very strong. It really is that strong. If you need to finish a kill a champ, chances are you're weak. If you finish a kill a champ, you get an overshield and you go in Viz. It's really strong. This is where we're fighting from here. We're going to manipulate a little bit, taking enemy spawns. I've said about it all week. Don't need to kill all the Cabal enemies and they won't spawn in. It's the 2 unstops you want to manipulate, really. I've got a super, so I may as well use it here. So I'm going to use it to take out all the adds. Apart from the 2 unstops. There's 2 unstops, but I need to make sure they're both dead for Platinum rank. As in, we need to tag them and the ship will blow up and it will kill the champs. But just make sure you've tagged both champs before you detonate that ship. Or just before the explosion, make sure that you've stunned both. Check screen for kill credit for both champ kills. So if it says champion defeated twice, you've done it. Look, champion defeated twice. I did have it on my previous run where I got gold because the ship didn't explode the unstop or something. So just pay attention to that. I got gold on my run before this. This is plat rank. I'm telling you, the run before this was gold. Something happened. So on this run, I paid close attention to make sure I get both champs killed. And they did. It popped up. Okay, we get a Hypernova. He's pushed aggressive. Get a suppressor down. And we need to melt down this Hypernova. If a Hypernova is an elite, they have even more HP. So let's clarify this. If a red bar is a Hypernova, he is 35% stronger than a standard red bar. But that's not a problem because red bars aren't tanky. However, elite HP is different to red bar HP. So if you get an elite Hypernova, that is 35% tankier and you've had bad luck. So remember, an elite Hypernova is actually a lot more ammo investment than you think. So plan accordingly with the Hypernovas. You can just run away. If you want to save on ammo, just run away. You can. As long as you're out of the radius of the hypernova, you're good. Now look at what we're doing here. Look at the amount of damage that we're doing to the adds, the volatile detonations. You actually get more void volatile detonations when you have got onslaught equipped or procced, because it increases RPM. Onslaught increases RPM, so it turns it into, I don't know what the RPM it turns it into. Maybe a D2 physicist down below can tell us. If a 600 RPM auto has onslaught, what's the RPM? Is it 900 RPM? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. You want me to do everything? Ask somebody else. See what they come up with. It's probably a 900 RPM. I don't know. But all I do know is onslaught's very effective on this auto rifle. Because I tested rewind and attrition orbs yesterday, which was a very good roll. But in actual fact, I think this roll's slightly better than that one, because onslaught's very valuable. I didn't realise how good it is. It's really good. We get a good, nice suppressor grenade. Look at the amount of damage suppressor grenade done there. Really strong suppressor grenade. And it never used to be this good. It was all, it was a utility grenade. That's always what it's been, and it still is a utility grenade. But now it's like, maybe it's the Void Surge, Mandela effect, and my feelings about suppressor grenade. But whatever it is, I've seen a suppressor grenade one-shot a wizard today. So, damn, suppressor grenade, if it's a direct hit on an ad, it does sizable damage. And not only that, it blinds all the ads and suppresses a lot of... Well, it doesn't blind, slightly different. It's not like a flashbang grenade, it's a little bit different, but it suppresses them. It incapacitates enemies. We use a super here because why not? I've got a low cooldown super. May as well use it. Take an enemy spawn in when all Cabal enemies are killed in this section. But just look at how easy it is just to fight the ads. I know that Stormscape Striker Titan is so powerful right now, but I'm willing to bet most of you Titan mains have played that subclass to death. So if you want to have a little bit more fun for the back end of this act, do yourself a favour and have a go with Hoyle on Void Titan with the Overshield build. Now, you can express yourself and run different Void weapons. Reckless Oracle users will spawn on your location if you don't use the damn auto. There's a cult for Reckless Oracle. There's cultists, there's loyalists on Reddit and stuff. You've got to be careful of them. If a Reckless Oracle user watches or sees you even look at another Void auto, they will come after you. You've got to be careful. I'm putting myself in the limelight here by saying about Ros Arago. They're raging about it. Because it's copium. They want you to tell Reckless Oracle is better. Although Reckless Oracle maybe is better. They may be right about it. But Ros Arago is absolutely really good. Like, this is coming from a person who complains about legendary primaries. I complain about them in GMs because they don't hit hard enough. Well, that's not the case for this auto rifle. I would say it's a 10 out of 10 auto rifle. A 10 out of 10 auto rifle this season. This is not off meta, people. This is not off meta. This is a meta because you are allowed to free up an exotic slot. We've been running Le Monarch for how long now? We don't really need to run Le Monarch. Not really. That means you can run exotic special weapons, exotic heavy weapons like Dragon's Breath, Witherhoard, all sorts of other things that you can think of. It frees up an exotic slot, and that's what the name of the game is in D2, and has been ever since D1. You always tried to strategize on how you could save an exotic slot for another slot. It's always been that way. That's not just a D1 thing, it's a D2 thing as well. And this is one of those situations where, hang on a sec, this auto rifle is serving a fantastic purpose because it allows me to run some other weapon that's advantageous for the GM, which is Witherhoard. Because Witherhoard is the best in slot for the boss fight if you're not cheesing him. Therefore, there's a lot of power to be said about that. Look at the amount of void volatile detonations we're doing to these ads. We're just messing around with them. Jumping over the heads, Witherhoarding them, and then applying the detonations. Alright, we're going to do similar strat to the Striker Titan. Now, my Striker Titan run yesterday with Stormscape was 27 minutes. My Void run today was 32 minutes or 30 minutes. I think it was 30 minutes. It was just below 30 minutes, actually, because the start was 5 minutes of me giving you the build information. So that's almost competitive with a bolt charge Stormscape Titan. And by the way, that run that I did yesterday was not me messing around either. So the fact that this build is within the same realm of Stormscape is pretty nice. It's not going to do us the bolt charges. Although it is a little bit on Champ Stun, you still get bolt charge on Champ Stun because the artifact. Artifact gives you that for free on all classes. Use a super. Look at the damage we're doing there to that wizard before we even pop super. That's really good, that. I prepped the wizard before a super. The intention was to always super, but it's better to super late if you can, just in case the wizards play up. Which the wizard did play up, didn't it? The wizards were spread out, so I had to spend more super energy, but because I'd prepped the first wizard, it was fine. Look, second wizard goes down, Witherhoard behind the bus, let all the Thrall die. We're going to stand here for the entirety of this. I'm not standing at the back of the map at all. It's actually better and quicker, in actual fact, to stand here. Now, the boss is having a moment. I was really worried that I was going to get kicked. Look, what's the boss doing? I can't hit I can't get volatile rounds here because the boss is not showing his crit. But I'm worried that the game's going to error code me. Because whenever this happens, when you see enemies do this, 10 seconds later, you generally get a kick. So I'm like, let me stop doing that. And I re-aggro the boss, and I'm thankful that the boss is not bugged. Although he did have a moment there. I don't know what that was. I've not seen this boss do that once this week. So that's a first. But I'm thankful I didn't get kicked. Because that's what I was thinking. Look at this. Onslaught procs on the blights. This is the absolute strat. Although we get weak there. I overcommitted to damage a little bit, but that's fine. Void resist. Void resist helps us. I overcommit to damage sometimes, because I know I can tank quite a bit because of Void Resist and Concussive Dampener, you see, against this boss. I've tailored my resistance for this boss. Part of it's for this boss. Yeah. Now, we're just going to keep roaming around the map. But look, notice I'm not standing still. As I do linear damage, I'm strafing left and right. You can basically just about survive doing that. It's easy. Once you get the movement down with this boss fight, it's actually alright, especially with Witherhoard. It's fantastic. I use a super here because I've got a Bane. Remember, Banes have 35% more health. So it's not just a case of, oh, the wizard's a Bane. No, it's that they've got more HP. So you've got to account for that when you're in a super and do more damage to him. But that means you've got less damage for your second wizard. Then you've got to think a little bit. So be keen-eyed on which damn Bane you get. Or if you do get a Bane at all, because it might not be the wizard that's a Bane, it might be a Thrall that's a Bane. Ideally, RNG, for you, best RNG is a Bane that's a Thrall enemy, but don't count on that. Because if you go into hoping for that, chances are in your run that will not happen. It's sod's law, that will not happen in your run. You'll end up getting the worst case scenario Bane, so always prepare for the worst with Banes. But look at this, we can just rotate around the map, Witherhoard, linear occasionally. Yeah, we get health as well because of Controlled Demolition. Controlled Demolition gives you health back. So when we're doing volatile damage with our weapons, we get health back. Do you see the health bump? That's why we use Controlled Demolition. I know somebody's going to say, you should have run Offensive Bulwark. No, I tested it today. Before you say, I've tested it, I've already done the tests. Don't think... I think deep about this stuff. It's not just a one and done thing. I done a run with Offensive Bulwark and Bastion. And it was really good for nade energy and melee energy. But I was like, hang on a sec. I know that Controlled Demolition is funky with volatile detonation builds. And I was like, hang on a sec. Volatile Marksman works with Controlled Demolition. And once I found that out today, or reminded myself about it, I was like, yeah, this has to go on. Even though I'm getting less ability uptime, it has to go on. And I've got Hoyle on anyways. I'm getting more than enough ability energy. I don't need more of it. What I want is to enhance my weapon. So this is a key point about build crafting is it's not just a case of you build crafting anymore. It's build crafting in the right areas because some of you can overcommit to a certain aspect of a build and then undercommit to the right thing that you should have done, right? So sometimes it isn't about investing more ability uptime. Sometimes it's more damage in the kit. Well, Controlled Demolition is more damage in its kit, and it's a bit of a health bump as well, because the volatile detonations are classed as an ability even though it comes from your gun. Yeah, so this is a key point about when we're build crafting. It's not just a case of, oh well, I apply this dim link. No, it's nothing to do with dim links. You can have dim links, and I give dim links, but please read the dim links and think to yourself, why did I use this fragment? Why did I use that fragment? It's not just a case of, oh well, here's my dim link, I'm good now. I can turn my PlayStation on and then run his dim link and I'm good. Well, you need to understand why it works and how it works. I had to pop a barricade there because I was stuck. The grenade stuck me. I would have died there if not. I'm playing quite aggressive on this little bit. Got a double damage buff on the floor. Double damage, blister and dominance, left hand side, 100% buff. Check the damage. Massive damage with the shield there. Blister and dominance, 5 seconds left. Doing double damage with the auto. You should know about double damage. I've told you about it 8 times in the last 2 weeks. I'll tell you a 9th time. Taken of Ambition, vendor rank 12. Pick it up. Get double damage bonus when picking up a sigil stone in any content. Raids, dungeons, GMs, planets, anywhere you can think of in the game. PvP, I don't know. I don't know. I don't play PvP. I doubt they drop in PvP, right? I can't imagine that they will. I haven't played PvP in about 5 weeks, so I don't know if they drop or not. I don't have a clue. Okay, jump over the ads, pop super. This is another reason why we've got this on. Just keep using your Captain America shield to the middle room and then commit to this room. This is where you're going to fight from. This is the safest way for maximum gains for the effort required, because the effort required is not a lot. 1 super and then you've got control of this room. The 2 freshers cannot shoot you. Double damage bonus. Let's check damage on fresher. 733, 733, 742. Watch the double damage bonus be lost. This is proof that it is double. 742, 508, 371. There you go. It's there. It's there on pen and paper. Black and white. Numbers. Showing you it. That is a real world example of why you should be using Path of Ambition when you're farming GMs. I think that there's many people that don't know what's going on this season with mods. And I'm laughing about it and I shouldn't, but it really is that case. I think Destiny 2 needs some sort of buff and debuff page tutorial, and there should be an extra screen on your menu to tell you what buffs and debuffs you have on your character when you equip them. For example, if you equip Tractor Cannon, the game menu should say, Tractor Cannon, you've equipped it. This is a 30% debuff. Stronger than most other debuffs. Blah, blah, blah. Or Blister and Dominance, you have that. If you pick up Sigil Stone, you get a 100% buff. And if it's in your menu and it's black and white, number, people will know and use it. The problem is, it's not in the game, the numbers, right? So people aren't aware of it. And I'm not like trying to be negative, it's not. It's just a criticism is that people need to know about these buffs because they're critical to the game. And I think a way forward after Frontiers is to add some sort of menu on your character. Yeah, maybe it's a second page where it contains all the buffs and debuffs that you have on your character. So, you know, if you're running Bubble on a Void Titan, how much is the damage buff from Weapons of Light? All right, I can check my character. It will tell me what the damage buff is and give it a number as well. Third-party tools isn't the answer anymore in 2025. We've come a long way. We can't rely on third-party tools because people don't go on third-party tools. There's only top 5% of us that use Microsoft Excel D2 Compendium. Everybody else isn't using it. However, if it was an in-game menu, all of us would use it, especially for PvE. So at some point down the road, we need some tooltip information on buffs and debuffs on your character. Moment to moment, when you go in your menu, you can see what you're doing. and what your build is available to do number-wise. Because numbers in the game, whilst you wouldn't think it's that important, it is. Buffs and debuffs are really important. Now, the second Thresher, we skip the second Thresher because we don't need to kill him. Look, where I'm standing, I actually don't need to kill that second Thresher. And the second Thresher will despawn once these ads are killed. Now, you can overcommit with damage here, as in weapon damage, because you don't need much heavy ammo now up into the boss fight. So I'm starting to use it quite a bit. Watch, the Thresher can still kill you if you get knocked back, so that is a little thing there. But that's fine. We've got one more VIP to kill. But this is fine to stand here. You just need to be a bit more careful with positioning. But yeah, that's the VIP killed. Thresher will despawn. On this run, we are skipping Tormentor. I killed the Tormentor yesterday. This is how you can skip it. Look, it can't be that simple, right? Pop super and jump up, and then jump across. Can't be that simple, is it? It is that simple, look. Simple skip. Remember, I killed the Tormentor yesterday. I've shown that you can melt him down with linears. We're on Void Titan. I want to speed the run up by 3-4 minutes for algorithm purposes. And, you know, it's an easy skip. So I'm just doing the Tormentor skip. But I'm not going to do a boss cheese. So there's a happy medium there. I done the no skip, no cheese yesterday. So if you haven't seen yesterday's video, go and watch that run then. That might be more applicable for you. I'm just doing a follow-up video to that one because of how good this Void Ore Rifle is. Okay, I'm going to do Witherhoard. I can't believe, look at that miss. How are we missing Witherhoard from 2 meter radius? Man, I need to go back to Witherhoard school there, don't I? Right, window strat. I already showcased it yesterday. I'm showcasing it again. And it's quite funny because in actual fact, you're actually very safe in this window, even without barricades. The boss is not very threatening, even later on. Now, it's to take note, my build is going to lose a bit of effectiveness here because I cannot apply void detonations to him because I can't get his crit. So that is one con to this, whereas on the Striker Titan build, at least I could still proc bolt charges. On the Void build, I can't because I can't get his crit. But that's where our king weapon Witherhoard comes into play. Witherhoard makes everything at the final boss fun. It's a really fun boss fight to do properly. Don't need to stand on no roofs. Although we are standing in the window, so, you know, there's a fine line between cheese and exploit. What would you call this one? I would call it an advantageous place to stand. I don't consider it as a full-on cheese because there's a bit of work to do still with the run, and the boss can tether you freely from here and can kill you in here, especially later on, and I'm not on Bolt Charge Titan, so I don't consider this a cheese. I do consider it a bit of a manipulation though, and something that changes the whole aspect of Lake of Shadows though, for sure, and makes it rather fun to do, you know, rather than stand on the roof. Okay, we was close here because the knight teleported, but that suppressor grenade controlled the room. I was in trouble there for a minute. Look at Onslaught times 3 there. It's like a damn machine gun. It really is. To be honest, it is. It feels just like a machine gun once you get to Onslaught times 3. This feels like a rapid fire 900 RPM LMG. That's what it feels like. But it's got the range of a 600 RPM auto. Because 600 RPM autos have a naturally higher range stat, which means less damage drop off. Whereas 900 RPM, not autos, but 900 RPM weapon types, i.e. SMGs and stuff, have a range stat that is less than the 600 RPM counterparts. I'm just saying that 600 RPM auto has a little bit higher range than your 720s, i.e. Reckless Oracle Loyalists. So I love 720s, but I love 600 RPMs as well. It's a tough call for me. I think I prefer 600 RPM a little bit more. Although Reckless Oracle should in theory proc more volatile detonations because it's a faster fire rate. Sure, but it is a raid weapon, and not everybody has access to it, so let's not be too ignorant to new starters. I do have Reckless Oracle. I'm choosing not to use it. I think you understand it. Look at the boss. The boss is shut off. Now, I have a theory why he's doing that. And it's because he's getting damaged by Witherhoard, so he thinks I'm... It's a weird situation, that. Because he's trying to... he's in that shield blast phase. Like, look. But I can guarantee you, it's because of Witherhoard, that. Witherhoard's causing that boss to do that. Because we're actually doing some stun damage to him. And it's causing him to sort of freak out. This happened a few times yesterday as well. So yeah, Witherhoard's king. Look, bosses fell asleep. The meatball boss fell asleep as well. Fell asleep. Too overpowered. The Ore Rifle. The Lake of Shadows boss. He's fed up with the Ore Rifle. Too strong for him. Only barricade when ads come up. Because you can't get your coil, you can't get your class ability back that quick. So you only need to barricade when knights spawn. Got it? You don't need to barricade any other time. Only for night wave. Everything else you can just deal with. We've run out of Witherhoard. That means I've spammed it. See, on this run, I've had to spam way more Witherhoard because I've not got ball charge. Whereas on the Storm's Keep run, it went quicker at the boss fight a little bit because I didn't need to use as much Witherhoard ammo. Because the ball charges was carrying it a little bit. Okay, ammo run now. Go for ammo run between ad phases for sure. Witherhoard is very important to this run. Like if I was to have no special on the floor at all right now, it would be a bit of a problem. It would be a problem to the run. Also, don't super the boss. When the boss gets below half HP, if you try to super him with a close quarter super, you will get tethered and suppressed and die. So don't do it. After half super, don't bother about supering the boss. You don't need to. Witherhoard's going to carry everything for you anyways. Okay, ammo run is complete. I'm happy with my Witherhoard ammo. I've got a bit of linear for knights when they spawn up. That's what the linear ammo is for. I'll do another Witherhoard shot to the boss. And he can tick away while I get rid of the mines to clear the taken floor. If he suppresses you like that, just crouch and hug the wall. He's actually melting. It seems to me that he does more damage to you when you're tethered, which that would be right, wouldn't it? Because when a hunter tethers a boss, the boss takes more damage. So I wonder if he's weakening us. I've never thought about that. But it looks like when you're tethered, the boss's arc attack does more damage to you so that he's debuffed us. That seems to be the case. That's just an observation. And I never gave that a thought one time until just right now. But I've just seen that clip where he's melting me when I'm tethered. So I'm like, hang on a sec, he wasn't melting me before. So what's the difference? Well, because I'm tethered. That's the difference. Whip out the linear, get rid of those knights because they TP. The knights can teleport, which is unintended, but they can. So get them melted as soon as. Pop super if you need to. But just be aware of that damn tether that the boss does. Okay, Ore Rifle's doing a fantastic work at just cleaning up all the red bars and all the orange bars. Look at this. Damn machine gun gameplay. Look at this. Really powerful. It feels really strong, this Ore Rifle. It really does. But yeah, I think we're done now on the final phase. I think that's it. I'm not going to sit up the boss though because he will tether. And look, he switched off again. The boss has switched off. He went to sleep. That allows us to just get in some good damage with Witherhoard because there's no need to aim Witherhoard as hard because he's just standing there for me. So it's good, this. But yeah, this worked out really good. I mean, look, 29 minutes. So if you compare that to Striker Titan's run yesterday, which was 27 minutes, although we didn't skip Tormentor in that run and this run we did. But it's within the same realm of a Stormscape's Titan, which is quite nutty in itself. If Stormscape Titan didn't exist, a lot of Titan maids would play this build that I'm showing to you. But anyways, that was a solo GM with this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.